All right, we
Hey,
are live. You get notified live, right? Because you
I see
talk about it at the same
the
time.
the little red light come on.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
A lot of things are going on in real estate right now that I want to kind of talk to you about. It's not necessarily about AI, although I think that AI dives deep into a lot of the things. But it kind of goes more into our past about how you and I have aligned, and more specifically, let's talk about gold. Gold 2 days ago closed at over 4,000.
All-time
And
high, baby.
that blew my mind. So the reason, well, it didn't blow my mind. You and I have been expecting that to happen. I think the only surprise for you and I is why it took so long.
Right.
I don't think it was a question on whether or not it was going to hit 4,000. I think it's very possible that in 2026 you're going to see it punch over 5,000, which I remember when you and I first started talking about this, gold had to have been like, well, let me see what the history of gold was. It had to have been like 1,000.
1,800,000. Maybe
History.
peaked out around 17 or 18, like top, and then pulled back.
So, but anyways, so here's where I was going with that. Even internally, I hear people saying that we have a tailwind, that next year for real estate, it's going to be
Yeah.
great. All the efforts that you could put in, and they're basing it off of historic data based on how long transitions typically hold.
Yeah.
You have rising unemployment. You shared this with me that Google searches for a mortgage assistant are the same as when they were in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I saw an article where half of the people who are taking out their 401k early is due to mortgage assistance.
Mm.
You have rising costs, you have tariffs, you have a slowing market. Like, I don't see where anybody sees sunshine and rainbows in that as far as it comes to the real estate market. In your market, in other big markets, even in California, not so much as Austin, Texas, but you're seeing a significant slowdown. You're starting to see home prices come down. The Feds reduced rates and interest rates went up because they were already baked in. So
Right.
I don't know, man. I don't see, and I'm not negative Nelly. I'm just
Yeah.
like I think that in fact you and I are proof is in the pudding that we've done better in a down cycle in a we did really well during the financial crisis and the years thereafter. So I'm not trying to be negative
Yeah.
Nelly as much as I'm looking at this, scratching my head. I'm like, what are you seeing that I'm not?
I mean, it's probably more so of just like that eternal optimism of just, I mean, I remember going into 2025 where, the Q4 of 24, everybody was like, all right, market's going to turn. Here we go. Like things are going to pick up. Um, which, I mean, I think to some degree, like it's kind of important to have that like dumb, hope in certain things. Like I don't care what's happening. Like I love the quote from Disney's. Like I heard there was a recession and I decided not to participate in it. Um, so it's like probably some more so to do with just the optimism and hope that things are going to be good, and data's data. Um, but keep plugging along. I think for a lot of folks too, where it's like, hey, we've gone through like a couple slow years in a row. That should be enough to kind of like things should be starting to turn around. So they're, choosing some data to look at that, supports what their theories are.
I agree with Disney on that quote, and I like that quote as well. Is I heard there's a recession, I choose not to participate in it. But that doesn't mean that he was whistling past the graveyard. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean that he's the saying that ignorance is bliss. only works when you don't have a mortgage, you don't have a family, you don't have responsibilities, and so on and so
Right.
forth. And I choose not to participate in it. You choose not to participate in it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to keep the same game plan as
Right.
when there wasn't one. Our game plan, I go out and I speak with agents. One of the things that often comes up is that around COVID years, there were 7 million houses that sold in the US. The forecast, NAR's forecast going into 2025, it was like 4.5. I can't remember the exact number, but it was like 4.5, could be a little bit higher. Now we're trending that it's going to be closing more like 4 million. Like that's pretty off. That's a
Yeah.
big number off. Even when you look at 7 million and 4 million, that's like 33% of all sales.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of real estate agents are going to complain about the 3 million that aren't selling, which is nearly, that's more than a third. That's nearly, that's a
Yeah.
lot. And not focus on the 4 million that are selling.
Right.
And that comes into lead generation. You're going to have to generate more leads to get a sold house because of the changing environments. So I think that we used to say for any real estate agent that's been in the business less than 10 years that things are going to be, you've never really experienced a changing market. But really, that's more like, I don't know, 2012 is probably, I mean, maybe you got a glimpse of it during COVID, but COVID was so opposite of what it could have been. If the
Yeah.
government didn't come in with stimulus, then yeah, COVID would have been, I don't know. Actually, COVID may not have done anything. If everyone just continued to go to work, people got sick, stayed home, maybe, and they didn't flood the market with stimulus, we wouldn't have 4,000 gold.
Yeah. That no. That's
So who
so
knows what
so
that would be?
so true.
Yeah, today
Right.
the gold performance, US dollars, $4,014 right now is where gold's at. That's at goldprice.org is what I'm looking at.
Whoop whoop.
It's up like 58% this year.
That's pretty remarkable.
I know. Yeah.
That's a very nice performing asset class.
Yeah, who would have thought? It's
My
up the 10-year low. So the 10-year low, 2015, was 1,050. It's up 240%.
nice.
I wonder how that compares to the S&P and to the Nasdaq. And I mean, I'm sure there's something. I'll look at that at another time.
My gold and silver is not like it's something that I don't even think about. It's not, just hold on to it and it is what it is.
Well, look, you've doubled. I mean, if you bought, I bought a bunch of gold at 1,800
Yeah. I think I was
ounce.
in around that
Yeah, ounces.
price point.
And yeah, that was about the same time. I think did that around the same time.
Yeah, I
And now it's at 4,000. I
really
mean,
dug into it then.
really
I went heavy
lately,
on silver there too, and it was mostly just because it was like the applicable like use case and supply where I was just completely convinced. I was like, silver is going to crush just because it's used in so much industry across the board, and the disparity of like where it was traditionally at with gold, was it seemed like at the time just a total no brainer to me, and it's still like on paper, tracks. Um,
what's funny is
logical.
that you just said you went heavy on silver. So I know there was no pun intended, but yeah, you indeed, if you bought silver, you went heavy.
Heavy. Yes. It is not the
Well, right now the current ratio, so the gold silver ratio chart. Do you remember what was when you were a broker? What you were?
man, I
It
want to
was
say it
like
was like
50. It was 50 to 1 is
20.
what you wanted. Is that what you wanted?
I want to say there was times where it was like 20s, in the 20s even. maybe that was like a historical thing, and it gotten the gap grew, and I was looking
Well, the
for it to
gap
come
now is
back in
70 to 1.
alignment.
So there's still a lot of.
It's increasing.
Now, that the higher the number means that the higher the opportunity, right?
Yeah. That in my mind, yes. Like
Yeah.
it was like traditionally it was like in the 20s. And then I think when I was starting to go heavy into it, it was that gap was widening. So it's like, all right, well, it's going to come back into parity with gold and continue to like perform. But yeah, apparently it's gone the other way, which
Yeah.
is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Um, I'm on chapter 4. I just finished writing chapter 4 of my 10 chapter book.
Beautiful.
So that's really happening. In fact, I have the cover design. Let me see if I can pull that up and share that with you.
Using all your frameworks and
Using all my frameworks, I've here how AI has really assisted me on this. This book is 100% me. This book is pulling all of the knowledge I have in my head, but ChatGPT is interviewing me, asking me
yeah,
questions, helping me frame the chapters. So what I've done just in the last 2 weeks, I'm halfway done on my book. And I
it's
think it's going
awesome.
to be. So I'm going to ask you to read it when,
Yeah.
that initial copy, just to maybe put a testimonial in there and uh, on it. But let me go, and I'm trying to find where things are at. But here's the thing. I just got back from Arkansas.
Nice.
One quote on Arkansas. I've been to Kansas.
Okay.
And when you look at the way that Arkansas is spelled, it's Arkansas. It's not Kansas. So I haven't looked this up. I haven't gone down the rabbit hole like I would typically go down. But it seems to me if you have Kansas and Arkansas, and the only difference is the AR, that it should either be Kansas or Arkansas.
Yeah, there's probably got to be some sort of like internal tiff on that where it's just like,
You're probably right.
no, we're different. We are not.
You're probably right. All right, let me see
Where
if I can.
where we at in Arkansas?
It started off in Little Rock.
Okay.
Okay, so that's not my right screen. That should be showing. Let me see if I can fix this. Here, I'm going to pull that
I was
down.
looking at not long ago, just some properties in the Hot Springs area. Seemed to be just like a good little vibe, something drivable from where I'm at, but mostly just for investment purposes.
Did you buy anything?
No, I didn't. I mean, it was just I just had uh, some diligence, for the market, and I just kind of got a good vibe for it, and I was like, I think this. So it's still on my radar, but
All right, there we
I
go.
kind of oh, look at that.
So the tactical real estate agent, the proven system for predictable income and market domination without cold calls, door knocking, or dead end ads.
Yep,
Then I got the little
beautiful.
thing, and then that's the other thing. I created a GPT to model Dan Kennedy. So he's been helping me out. His
Nice
virtual GPT has been helping me out as far as
for copywriting.
for copy.
Love it.
So everywhere you look, the same tired advice gets shoved down agents' throats. Make more calls, mark more doors, bug your friends and family until they stop answering the phone, dodge your texts, and won't even make eye contact with you at the grocery store. Maybe you tried it, a few calls, a few doors at dinner time, and you knew instantly this is not it. It feels wrong. It doesn't scale. Yet many of these so-called experts have never sold a house. They recycle the same old garbage. Thousands of agents fall for it, staying broke and stuck on the hamster wheel. The truth is simple. Control the listings, you control the market, but you'll never control listings if nobody knows you exist. Cold calls and door knocking are desperate stunts to get noticed for 5 seconds and then forgotten. Wasting money on dead end ads won't save you either. Willpower comes from predictable income, market domination, and the authority that comes from being the go to agent. Inside you'll discover attract listings without begging or chasing business, build predictable income that eliminates feast or famine cycles, position yourself as the go to agent in the market, dominate your area without cold calls, door knocks, or dead end ads, create a real business that scales without grinding yourself into the ground. So, what do you think?
Spot on. Look at you go, man. It's a good hook.
Yeah, so I
Good opener.
created a person that so I'm telling a story about a real estate agent named Alex, and it's kind of just, he's the one that personifies
Yeah,
the agent avatar, and
I
kind of
love that.
walking it through that way. And it's actually been a lot of fun to write. So I should have this. My goal is to have this done by October 31st. I got 20 more days, 21 more days.
TikTok. Uh, for your character framework, was that did you build off of that from our conversation about the book I mentioned, The Goal? Because I know we were talking about some books, and it was like I brought up the Goal, where it's like a business strategy book, but it's written through the framework of a story and character and stuff.
Probably I don't I when I came up with the idea, I
Hmm.
didn't think of it specifically, but now that you said that, it could be, that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where you just
Right.
plant the idea. That's
Yeah.
probably where the idea came from, because what
It was
happened is
there, and then you're
when
like,
I started writing it, it sounded a lot like a military field manual.
yeah,
And I'm like,
this is just not gonna.
this isn't gonna work.
This is
So
not it. This is not it.
yeah,
Cool,
and quite
man. I
honestly, ChatGPT has been tremendously helpful.
I love that. I mean, it's business books are great. I love them. The self help, all that good stuff. But um, I think the incorporating the story into it could be a total game changer there. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this afterwards. I think I'm gonna push this to a 7 day challenge to really focus on, helping people just get out of the gate, and then just build my list. That's the intent. This may turn into a free plus shipping
Yeah.
lead magnet.
Digital download or free. You
Both.
the framework's there. I mean, the free plus shipping still works. It's still effective.
I
Obviously
mean,
for you,
Hermosi did it at a very
yeah,
big level.
yeah.
Did that
I
come
mean,
with a
it's
digital download?
uh, yeah. So I mean, that one had a GPT, had a bunch of downloads, had a community. It was in into continuity, and yeah, the
Is he
the
still running it?
the
He's still running that, isn't he?
no, well, I'm sure you can go buy the books, but the his launch stuff expired. He did a um really dedicated urgency on it, where it was like, I want to say it was a total of like 72 hours, where all the bonuses and bells and whistles and stuff went away. um it and this is probably, he had, I think there was like two or three upsells from the initial, like, buy the book, all the way up to, I think, the top one was like close to like 30 grand, no sales call, and the and a huge take rate on it.
Wow.
Like, that's gangster. Like a 30K price point with no sales call is just like, just click,
You know
click,
that,
click, click, click,
and
add
that's the
30K to my. cart.
Oh, you bought it?
No, I
Oh.
didn't. I
That's the interesting thing when you start talking about the modern consumer. So I was delivering, the essence of what I was delivering in Arkansas was my
hmm
magnetic agent, which is what the foundation of this book is about.
yeah.
And it talks about cold calling. And when you start thinking about when cold calling was very effective, we had the only reason why it was effective was out of curiosity. Your phone rang. You had no idea who it was. You answered it. Your
Right.
doorbell rang. You had no idea who it was. You answered it. You now have, well, the first nail in the coffin for cold calling was caller ID. Now, everyone has their supercomputer in their pocket and it has
Yeah.
every single phone number that could possibly call you or you could call. So any identified number that comes in, it's not random. And if they're calling a landline and you still haven't, look, someone who still has a landline, it's not my ideal client. A. B is typically it's not the person who's cold calling's ideal client either.
That's so
C,
funny.
people probably have it just because it's still part of their cable bundle and they don't use it. They probably even forgot
Right.
the phone number.
Like, oh no, you get that with your TV. Man, that's funny. When you mentioned that, it's like the cold calling is like the house phone, the phone on the wall. Like you'd be excited, like you'd like rush to try to answer the phone, like beat your siblings or whatever to answer it. To
But then if you got it and I was your sibling, you're like, Brett, it's for you. And then I'm like, who is it?
yeah,
And if you said the name that I didn't want to talk to, I'm like, I'm not home. So we still screened calls.
right.
It's just it was just that technology has allowed us to do it without answering the phone.
Yeah, that's
And now
awesome.
when you go to door knocking, well, number one, it's extremely dangerous in this day and age to go up to some sort of random, and some areas are worse than others, but it's
Yeah,
extremely dangerous to go to someone's house and knock on the door if you're not invited. But number two is that my whole neighborhood, they all have video cameras as doorbells.
yeah,
So even like if someone comes up to my door, I'm not answering it. If you're not invited, I'm not answering it. Like there's
yeah.
nothing
You're like,
good from that.
I don't need a new roof right now. Thank you for asking again, though.
Yeah.
Um,
So and that's what I talk
so
about in the book. But going back to Hermosi is, and when you really start looking at the behavior patterns that Google shares, if there's any one entity or company that knows more about you than you, it's Google. You know, in their book Zmot 12 years ago, they said that 88% of consumers, they've already chose what they're going to buy and who they're going to work with due to
hmm
the online, or before they meet with someone, due to the online research that they've done. Now you fast
right,
forward to today and you don't need to convince somebody. You need content to provide them the information which will convince somebody.
right,
That's my belief system. That's where I'm at in life right now.
yeah. Well, I think we're going to see some pretty significant consumer disruption here with like Zillow getting connected with ChatGPT. I mean, that's we should jump into that next chat because um like there is no such thing as an uninformed shopper anymore. Like it is instant response, market data, properties, comps, everything, right? So your framework of like, hey, you need to be like you being able to differentiate yourself and have people coming to you for your specific knowledge um on the market, on negotiating, on the things that AI is not going to still not able to do, but
You know, and
buyers are going
I
to
want
get
to make
real
sure
real
that
sharp.
people understand the gravity of this. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, and we should. Actually earmark for next week, and we'll go dive into this. But when you said that, I pulled up the article from Zillow Group when they announced ChatGPT because there was a
Yeah.
number that stood out to me. And the reason why this number stood out to me is because I go through and talk about the do not call list, how it has like
Hmm.
280 million people on it. The population's like 330 million. So like every
Yeah.
man, woman, and child. Well, in that Zillow report, it said that 800 million, more than 2 times, almost 3 times the population of the United States, 800 million people use ChatGPT every week. Like, that is, you want to know where you need to be?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it's at.
It's still, uh, and this is, well, obviously we could go off on these tangents forever. It's
And
still
we have,
it's still shockingly small compared to the number of Google searches. So, one, I think it's insanely important, but also when you compare them side by side, Google search still just
oh,
dominates.
holy cow.
Um,
So I just did a search. Like, I'm still using ChatGPT, Gemini, and
yeah,
X. Those are the three that I use consistently. I only use the paid version of ChatGPT, but actually, no, that's not true because I have uh, I can't remember the paid account for your hosting service for Google. Can't remember what that's called, but I have that. Um,
workspace, whatever.
Workspace, thank you. Google receives an average 91 billion searches per week based on over 5 trillion annual searches and around 14 billion daily searches. This is an estimate. This is an estimated number as the exact day volume fluctuates, but it highlights the massive scale of Google's search operation. I appreciate you bringing this up. I'm going to Tulsa, Oklahoma next week to deliver on that. Zillow's going into it. The 800 million are going into it. The 91 billion are going into it. Because if there's anything that says, if you're not online, you're invisible.
Yeah.
Oh, I came up with this thing in the book that says that consumers are already making a decision. And if you're not online, you're not invited.
Yep. Oh, I
You're
love
invisible.
that. You're invisible. I can't tell you how many times I repeat that there's if somebody doesn't know who you are, there's 100% chance they're never gonna do business with you. And it's just freaking so poetic.
It's
Like
true, man. There's
you
a 100% probability is what I say.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Well, look, we're at time. I'm
Beautiful.
going to earmark that we're going to talk more about the Chat GPT and Zillow next week.
Yeah.
We'll go dive on that. Any parting words?
Let's get it, my
All
man.
right. Love it. See you next week.
Rock and roll.
Bye.